Alright, good morning everyone. This is the graphing ordered pairs video on the 8th grade review power focus area. And today we're going to learn about graphing ordered pairs. Quick review, remember an ordered pair is a point on a coordinate plane that is represented by an x and a y value. The first thing we have to remember is that the horizontal axis is your x-axis and the vertical axis is your y-axis. Okay? These 3 points at the top match the points in your study guide. And we're going to graph 3 of these to do a quick review of how to graph ordered pairs. The first thing we want to do is identify our x and y value in the ordered pair. So for example, in point A, our x value is -2, our y value is 4. So the first thing I do is I start at the origin, which is 0, 0, okay? And then since my x value is -2, I go back 2 intervals on my coordinate plane. And then my y value is 4, so I go up 4 intervals in the vertically, because vertically is the y-axis, and this is point A. Okay? I also forgot to mention that on our coordinate plane, there's no values on our intervals. So if there's no values, we would assume that the intervals are going up by a value of 1. Okay? Our second point, point B, the x value is 5 and the y value is -2. So I start at the origin. X value is 5, so I go over 5 on my x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My y value is -2, so that means I'm going to be, since it's negative, I'm going down 2, and I graph my point, and this is point B. My last point, point C, the x value is 0, the y value is 4. Start at my origin. When the x value is 0, that means I do not move horizontally, and the y value is 4. So that means I'm going to go up vertically 4 intervals, and this makes point C. Okay? The second thing we're going to discuss really quick is graphing ordered pairs on a coordinate plane where the intervals are different than 1. So if we look closely at this coordinate plane, we see at the intervals, okay, the value of 2 is right here. Okay? So to figure out how much each interval represents, I count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 intervals before I get to 2. So the simple way to figure out how much each interval is I take 2, okay, and I divide it by 4, which is going to give me 0.5 or 1/2. So that means that each interval represents 1/2 or 0.5. So this would be 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, okay? So the next thing is I'm going to go to my points. Okay, my first point, point D, x value is 1.5, y value is 2. So I go to the origin, I go to 1.5, which is here, and I know that because I figured out the intervals. Then I go up 2, because that's my y value, which I have to remember is up here, and this is point D. My next point, point E, the y value is -2.5, the x value. So I start at the origin, I go over to 2, and I know that 2.5 is going to be over one more interval to the left. And when I'm negative on my x-axis, I'm going to the left. Oh, and I have to go up 0.5. Okay? We all make mistakes. That is not correct. Okay? Since my y value is 0.5, I had to go up one other interval. The last point is 1.50. I label my x and y, and I start at the origin. I go over to 1.5. And then my y value is 0, so that means I'm not going to go up or down at all. I'm going to stay at 1.5 on the x-axis, and that is point F. And there you have it. That's graphing ordered pairs.